Good morning. I'm Vince. This is Listings to Leads, and we're going to talk about how to get more listings. And I see a bunch of names here that I'm not too familiar with, which is great. But let me ask you a quick yes or no answer. Do you have listings now, or do you not have listings now? Yes or no? Right. And let me tell you why I'm asking that question. A lot of people think, a lot of realtors think that the best way to get listing leads is to run ads on Facebook with what's your free home value. And had we been talking like 4 years ago, I would have agreed with you. Actually, I trained on that every week. I trained our clients every week. And so, but Facebook has changed a lot. It's going to continue to change. And sometimes it makes it less valuable in trying to generate listing leads. So I will talk about how to get listing leads from Facebook, but I do see one person here doesn't have listings. My question for you is, do you have listings or do you not have listings? And I appreciate that to know that from everybody here on the call today. So when you log in, there are some things to do. Oh, let me turn this off so we're not getting bothered by all this. There are kinds of a couple of things to think of that I would like you to concentrate on when trying to get more listings, okay? And they are on these pages, on the listings page, on the ads page, and on the landing page page, right? So I will walk you through all of them. This is our listings page, and this is our ads page. And boy, my computer's just running so slow. I'm trying to get rid of this old computer, but I can't get my software on the new computer, so we're going so. And then landing pages, okay? So these three sections are where you get more listings, but it may not be the way that you think. So before we go to the listing section, or as we go to the listing section, I asked a question, does everybody have listings? And somebody said, no, they don't have listings. So I want to speak to that because one of the most powerful tools to get more listings is on this page. And you can get this tool even if you don't have your own listings. So first of all, if you come to this page and there are no listings, there's a green button here that says add listings. If you click that, there's an option to grab a listing. Now, if you can get permission to borrow somebody's listing, and usually it's pretty easy, you say, hey, can I market your listing to get more buyers? And they say yes, then you drop in the zip code and you drop in the MLS ID for that listing and you deselect this since it's not your listing, so you don't go make a YouTube video for you, and then grab it. And once you grab it, it shows up right here on this list, okay? And there are some tools here that you definitely got to use if you want more listings. So let's start with a number one listing. And here I have normally I have an open house here. So I'm going to edit this listing and I'm going to add open house, right? So right here, I just click on open house and add open house. And I'll set that for later on in the month and add an open house. So for some of you, and very few of you, we get open house data from your MLS automatically. Right? But for most of us, that doesn't work. And so you click edit and you click open house and you save the date and time. And we're going to email you about 8 tools in your email to use. So you can do this from your email, assuming that you've got your open house data. But now if we go here to market your listing, the tools that we want to get more listings are right here. Now, the number one tool has this red button that says nearby homeowner letter. And I'm going to download, this is a very simple one-page flyer, okay? And I'm going to download this one. And this letter, there are 3 different versions of it. That's the only difference. You can click the pencil here if you want to edit and add any, kind of relevant information. But it works. This letter works just like you're seeing right now, like just how I've downloaded it. If you download it and you print it, this generates listing leads. Okay. And let me explain what it is. It says, hey, we've got an open house this weekend. Come and check it out. Take this physical piece of paper inside your own house and go to your computer and go here to this web address to find out about it. But then it says, when that home is sold, it will affect your home value. And we invite you to go get your free home value here. So take this piece of paper and go to your computer and type this web address. And this is where they go, okay? Now, if you recognize this, and if you've been in real estate a while, I'm pretty sure you've seen something like this, because I don't know how many real estate gurus are teaching agents like, hey, grab this and go write a really cool ad on Facebook, and that will be awesome. You'll get listing leads, right? I used to do that. Scott and I used to train our clients for years to do that. But like I said, Facebook has changed, and this strategy has been worn out so heavily that frankly, running an ad on Facebook with this landing page is one of the last things I would suggest if you want listing contracts. You might collect addresses, you might get some email addresses, but but converting that into a contract where you're actually selling somebody's home off of Facebook is tricky with this kind of tool, right? But let me just show you how it works, right? Anybody can type in their address anywhere in the country and click get the value estimate, okay? And once that happens, we flip it to the next page that says, yeah, we have your value, right? But to give it to you, we need your address, your email address, and why you're interested, right? I'm thinking about selling. And we show them the house on the map, and they click view report, and bang, right? That's how this landing page works. And at this point, you have their address and their email. And we're using a company called Onboard Infometrics, and we don't give that hard estimate. We give the range of what they're talking about, okay? And that's what they're going to see, and you're going to see those same exact numbers with their address. But also, as these people scroll down, you see all these big green buttons. There's one here, there's one here, there's one here. These are all call to actions to get them to set up an appointment with you if they need something more accurate, right? Because we didn't give them a hard estimate, we gave them a range. If they really want to know, we've got multiple call to actions to get that information. So, but I want to remind you, that's how it works, but really the issue is how do you get somebody to that page? And what I'm trying to suggest to you is getting them here with this page, with this piece of paper, is the smartest thing you can do if you want listing leads that turn into listing contracts, okay? So let's kind of go to the Mastermind Group and talk about a few of our clients that have been applying that, right? And because I think you'll all learn from this, if you want to apply that, I recommend that you write down these 3 names and that you go look at what they're saying and what other agents have said, because there's a lot of comments. There's 41 comments on this one. And they're all about applying this. So this is Chris, who took that letter last summer and mailed it for 3 months in his own neighborhood. Now, I want to tell you, this guy is married. He's got a wife and kids, and he moved to San Antonio, Texas, excuse me, and nobody knows who he is in San Antonio, Texas. He just moved there because his wife's family's there, and they want the family around and all that. So he has no name recognition, so he creates these videos and puts them on Facebook, and that's helpful, but that's actually not what's moving the needle. What's moving the needle is this. He sends out that letter every other week to homeowners, to neighbors who own their homes for more than 5 years. And then once they opt in on the home valuation landing page, he follows up every week with phone calls, bomb, letters via mail, and letters left at doors, right? So let me break that down for you. He sends out a letter like this, even on borrowed listings, every other week to a list of people who've owned their homes for 5 years or more. Now, your MLS may give you that information. Remind might give you that information. There are a lot of companies that will give you a list of people with equity, right? You can get that all over the place. And then he mailed it out, right, to that group, that subset of people. And when they took that physical piece of paper inside their home and went to that web address and gave them their info, well, he knew where they were. He knew what there was. So here's the really hard part. He consistently contacted them every week, right? And that is, I know, hard for a lot of realtors to do that. He does it with phone calls, bomb messages, letters left at the door, and letters via mail, right? Every week until they start doing deals. It took him 3 months to get 5 listings. He's still applying that. His business is growing so fast that his wife quit her job, and she's now going to help him do his marketing so that they can keep this machine running. That's a great story. I want to show another one to you because I actually think this is really important. And that is, a lot of us think, hey, if I can do that in a bulk mail, that'll be really easy, right? Just send that letter over and tell them, hey, send it there. And that's cool, except if that bulk message looks like junk mail, it ain't gonna get opened. And you'd be surprised, but this letter doesn't work unless you actually are looking at it, right? If you're looking at it. So if they don't open it, it ain't helping you. Now, why I'm belaboring that is you'll see that Alicia Pless here keeps doing things in these really weird envelopes, right? Like lime green and that canary yellow. And she was using this and still does consistently because it keeps getting her more listings. So if you want more listings, I would look at Alicia Pless. I want to point this out. She said, I'm getting my 3rd listing in 6 months in the same subdivision. Okay? Let me tell you something about that subdivision. There are 50 homes in it, 50. Not a huge subdivision, and she pulls 3 listings in 6 months. This is a great tool. It works for so many of our clients. I have spoken to 2 people who it didn't work for, and I will tell you that story so that you can understand how maybe that might apply to you. One gentleman in Palm Springs called me and said, Vince, I've been doing this and I'm using that letter that you're telling me to use and it ain't working. And I don't know if you guys have been to Palm Springs. I've been there. Great town, beautiful. Boy, the competition is huge. There's a lot of realtors there. They know their game, and that was not working. Now, maybe you didn't dovetail it with that kind of superset of people with equity. I don't know, but he seemed like a smart individual who'd been in the business for a while, and it just wasn't working. Now, I also spoke to another lady who is a seasoned realtor in Pennsylvania, west of Philadelphia, a really nice area. I mean, I lived out there. It's, beautiful colonial homes. I don't know what the competition was. And she totally knew what she was doing and used it for months. And she said, it just didn't work. But everybody else keeps telling us that this works. And this guy named Dustin Fox, he actually lives 2 states down from Pennsylvania, right? And the state in between them is Delaware. Delaware is so tiny, you can drive through it in about 30 minutes. And this guy mails this letter to 250 homes, first class, in a custom looking black envelope with his little 1-page calendar of him and his wife. He made a little 1-page deal of his reviews on Zillow, and he blasted out to 250 homes. It cost him $625 for that. but he gets 10 listings with an average commission of $17,000. So he comes in to say, our highest ROI is that letter. I can tell you, when Dustin started using this, he was a rookie agent, had been in business for 2 years, doing 5 million in production a year. He's using this and a handful of other tools, and he went from 5 to 20 million in annual production in 2 years. He is now a rock star in that office of like 500 agents from being just a rookie. And it's because he puts in 2 hours a week with our platform. And this is the top tool that he gets more listings with. So that's the long story of that one. It's on the listings page. Let me show you a couple of other tools. There's an e-flyer for your database. It's very similar. Again, this home is an open house. So it says, hey, I've got an open house. Click on that blue bar or click on that picture to go check it out. And what would we do when it's sold? Get your free, it's going to affect your home value. Get your free home value, right? So now I can get my home value leads from my old database, right? If you're an agent with hundreds or thousands of people sitting there not calling you and you're dripping on them, drop this on them once or twice a month, once a week or every 2 weeks. People click on these things, right? Right now, if you got a CRM and you're dripping on them, you probably got some really cool content, and then you've got your phone number and picture for them to call you. And guess what? People don't want to talk to you. I know you're awesome. They just don't want to talk to you, but they want information, and this flyer is going to allow them to click and get more information so you can start that conversation again. So the nearby homeowner letter, the e-flyer for your database. Then there's a social media, sharing your social media, which we actually mail this to you, right? And you should open it up. And I've been having a lot of problems with this computer because it's old and gunked up. But you should actually go to your, email it to your client and tell them, call them, email what I just copied and tell them, hey, I just sent you something. Please copy it and put it on your Facebook wall, right? And this is a bad example because my Facebook or this computer is so messed up that it doesn't have the picture. We normally have a big colorful picture, right? But this is what it's saying, we've got an open house this weekend and you at your office is doing marketing, we expect a great turnout. Why is that important? Well, I don't know if any of you like referrals, but you know where referrals come from? They come from your clients, friends, and family and colleagues. And you know where your clients are sharing pictures of the food they eat and of their grandkids and of their kids and their vacations and all the other fun stuff? They're sharing them on Facebook with their friends and family and colleagues. Now, if you use our tool, they're going to share that you are their realtor, okay? And that's not a paid ad. That sits there until the end of time, or if they decide to delete it, but most people just forget about it. And I want to show you that tool on a different listing, on a listing when a property is sold. So I got a property here that's sold, and I know, was it Tina that says you don't have any listings? Do you have any sold listings? Because if you have sold listings, you should definitely be marketing and using this tool. And again, it's meant to show a photo. You see how this has got this big photo here. It should look like that, but my computer is all messed up, so my apologies. Let's go back to Facebook and let's go. And like I said, there should be a big picture. But notice what it says. It says, our home is sold and we want to recommend you at your office. And here is your phone number and email in front of all my friends and family and colleagues to see until the end of time, okay? Now, if I post that, all my friends are going to see it. But in your case, all your clients, friends and family and colleagues are going to see it. And of course, they could call you, but what's more likely is they're going to click on that picture. There'll be a big picture instead of this link. And it takes them to the single property website of a sold property. Now, our single property websites and our virtual tours and our Facebook ads, we're not looking for buyers with sold properties. We're looking for sellers. So the call to action, as you can see here, is designed to get listings. It's so funny because I'm friends with so many agents around the country. And I see these really cool, colorful pictures that they say, oh, I just sold this home, right? And it's awesome if you want people to see colorful things, right? If that's what you want to share with people. But you could share colorful things with your listings to leads tools, but when they click on them, we're going to be offering a home value, right? And you're going to get listing leads. So if you want listing leads, use use that tool. I can't stress it enough. So that's kind of on the listing side of things. These are 3 tools: the nearby homeowner letter, the seller's social media post, and the e-flyer for your database. Are there any questions about that, about what I've shown you so far? And while I'm waiting for that answer, I want to remind you, those tools are available even if you're borrowing a listing. So if you want a listing in a particular neighborhood, right? Borrow a listing in that neighborhood and use those 3 tools I just showed you. Those are some of the top tools. You actually can't use the seller's social media tool if it's not your listing. So I don't see any questions. Let's go over to ads and let's talk about ads. Now, first, you can create PDF report ads. Have any of you created a PDF report ad in our system? And let me tell you, there are 25 PDF reports for sellers, various topics: curb appeal, how to increase your home value, staging. 1 second, and I will go back to those 3 tools. So there are 25 PDF reports, and you see this little circular silver button. It says download report. You can download that report, and you will notice that your picture and contact information is on every page of that report. So it's all branded to you. You could go over here and click settings, and you can change it to Spanish if you want. You could change it to different color theme if you're with some other company, right? Or you can just run it as it is. But when you run that ad, I'm going to click 12 mistakes to avoid. Let's just go look at it real quick. It's saying, hey, download it for free here, right? So this is not offering a home value. It's offering information that is of value for homeowners. You'll notice that mine is sponsored by Listings to Leads because I work for Listings to Leads. Yours is going to be sponsored by your business page. And that's awesome for your branding, because if you run, in this case, a $50 ad, that ad's going to be seen by 2,000 to 3,000 people. All right, 2,000 to 3,000 people that are going to start to learn that you are a resource for real estate. Now, when they click on it, they're going to download it, and Facebook is going to chew up a little bit of your money. We see listing leads cost anywhere from $2.50 to $5 to $7, depending on where you are in the country. All you got to do is type in the name of the town. I'm going to put Lafayette, California. That's where I am. It'll have a radius of 15 miles. If you want, you can expand it, because it's not actually talking about Lafayette. It's just saying, here's what you want to avoid if you're thinking of selling your home, right? Now, here's something really important. If you're looking for listing leads, you need to click on advanced options down here. This is very new, so if you haven't been on a call with me, you need to pay attention to this. You click advanced options, you click create new form, you click form questions, and ask this question, add this question. What is your time frame to sell? And when you do, we create a drop down. So this form that you see on the right, when people click on this and they say, I want to download this, they're going to have their name, email, and phone number pre-populated. But they're also going to have this question that says, what is your time frame to sell? And it's like 1 to 3 months, 3 to 6 months, or longer than 6 months. What do you think you should do if you get a lead with a name, email, and phone number that says they need to sell in less than 3 months? What do you think you should do with that lead? I will tell you this, guys, there are a lot of agents out there trying to get business, but there are not many agents out there following up with leads, right? They get leads, they give them one phone call, and that's about it. And if they didn't call them back, well, that was a bad lead. That is not realistic. If somebody, let me answer the question for you. If somebody responds with a home value lead that wants to sell in less than 3 months, you should be texting them, emailing them, calling them with quick voicemails 3 or 4 times a day for 2 to 3 days. And just say, hey, I'm busy, I'm between meetings, but I saw your question. I'd love to help you. Can I ask you this question? Can you answer me this way, this or that? That you need, if you're looking for listing leads, you need to ask that question. You need to ask that question. Does everybody understand that? What is your time frame to sell? This is a very valuable data point, and you can get it from Facebook. Let's step back, because somebody had a question of what are the 3 tools to use when you're marketing a listing. Again, it could be a borrowed listing. And it doesn't matter what status it is. I showed you an open house. You could do this when it's just listed. You could do it when it's coming soon. You could do it when it's under contract or open house, or even when it's sold, okay? These are the tools. Your seller social media tool, the e-flyer for your database, and the nearby homeowner letter. The nearby homeowner letter is the #1 tool for getting listing leads that turn into listing contracts, all right? So if you like listing contracts, I suggest you use this tool, all right? So I was just backwards, had to go back there for Ann, who missed that. Let's go back to ads, and we talked about how to run PDF report ads. So everybody gets that one, right? Any questions there? While I'm waiting, if there's questions, I'm going to click on create a listing ad, because actually when you market a listing that's sold, it's designed to get listing leads. Leave it on lead ads. Lead ads means you get free phone numbers, pre-populated phone numbers. And I want to tell you about that in case it's a question for you. We have had lead ads now for almost a year. Man, time flies. Almost a year. And what we're hearing, as I mentioned, lead ads come with pre-populated phone numbers. What we're hearing is 75% of those phone numbers are correct. Okay? That's pretty good numbers. Let me show you something. I'm going to take us over to the listings to leads. And I'm going to go way down to the bottom where our blog is. Right. And I'm going to show you Calvin. Calvin Shropshire is a client of ours over, I don't know where he is, but he generates 490 leads in 26 days. Okay. In 26 days with phone numbers.
490. 26 days and 490 leads.
Yeah. And that's because he's using our ad generator, just like I'm showing you. Now, I got to tell you, he spent about $500 for those leads on multiple listings, right? But in this place here, he's looking for buyers, and buyer leads are cheaper, right? On average, I would tell you a buyer lead costs about $1 a lead on Facebook. And I would tell you this, on average, a seller lead costs about $5. It actually feels like it's going down, like it's feeling like it's like $4, $4.50 a seller lead. So if you're running a $50 ad, you're gonna get, how do you say, about 10 leads, maybe 11, 12 leads. If you want 490 leads, you're going to have to spend a lot of money. I don't know if I would suggest that for you. But, you know, if you owned an office, I would definitely suggest that. I would definitely suggest, if you got a bunch of agents, to build that database of homeowners, right? With phone numbers and email addresses and addresses. That is a valuable database to build. People who are interested. So I would tell you, if you had an office, I would by all means have I would be looking for 500 leads a month just because I would, right? That would totally be what I'm doing. Now, on this one though, you'll notice that this is our boilerplate language. And it says that home is sold. That affected your home value, right? And if you click this ad, we'll give you a free home value. Now, that can work. That has worked for many clients, but I will tell you this, it's not that compelling. And right now in this market, when most realtors sell a home, there is some really compelling information that Scott and I don't know. And you should be sharing that information. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to click advanced options. And I'm going to go down here where the primary text, you see this text here? This is the same text as the text over here. So if I want, I could say, we got 7 offers on this home. We sold 30K above asking. In contract in 5 days. And we have 6 qualified buyers still looking. Do you see how this is a little more interesting than just the default boiler stuff we put there? The default boiler stuff can look, but let me talk to you about selling homes. I know you guys know how to sell homes way better than I do. But what you don't actually think of all the time is just human nature. And in human nature, selling a home is a painful prospect. You know what I mean? It's not a fun thing to do. Unless you're like a professional flipper, that is a scary proposition. I'm going to have people in my house. It's going to be nerve-wracking. I ain't into it. But in this place, you say, hey, I can sell it in 5 days and get you more money. That is going to make me stop and think, okay, I want to talk to that person. If you have any data points like that, add it on the primary text. All right. Now, what else? Because we're looking for listing leads. We're in advanced options. Let's not forget listing leads, form questions. What is your time frame to sell? Click create a form, and that's going to be a question available. Now, there's another thing here that is super, super powerful, and it's retargeting. I'm going to talk about it in a few minutes because it's a big can of worms. We make it easy, but we need to talk about it so that you know what that is. Okay. So does everybody understand on ads what kind of Facebook ads you should be running to get more listings? There are 2 kinds of ads: PDF report ads and sold ads. And I'll tell you this, you could borrow a listing and market it as sold and still get listing leads. Okay. So everybody gets that. You got 3 tools on the listing side, and you got 2 areas here, listing ads and PDF report ads on the ad side. Okay. Let's talk about landing pages. And I just want to point out that every one of you gets a free home valuation landing page. I showed it to you earlier, right? It looks like this. And I want to remind you, in case you've already forgotten, running an ad on a page like this, it's kind of blown out. It's tired and it doesn't work very well. Now, I still got clients doing it. It might work for you. Certainly try it. I do recommend running an ad with this maybe once a month, just to tell the market that you are that kind of professional that they can get them a home value. I'm not saying you're going to get high quality leads from it, but you're getting great branding for maybe 20 or 30 bucks, right? So I'm not entirely against it, but if you want listing contracts, it's the second to last thing I recommend that any realtor does. Okay. I can tell you the last thing, but since I want you to get listings, we'll save that. But on this page, you'll notice that there's a button here on the landing page that says create a landing page. And you can create a property valuation plus page, right? And then what is the name of it? That would be the name of your town, right? Or maybe the name of a neighborhood that you want, right? I'll just put Martinez, that's a town nearby. And you just click create landing page. Now, I'm not going to create one because I have some down here, right? But I want to point out to you that each of you should have multiple home valuation landing pages, unless you only want listings in one town, okay? Now, this is my Pleasant Hill one, right? So I've got a Pleasant Hill landing page, and I've taken the time to put a picture of the downtown mall in Pleasant Hill on it. And I do that, again, for human nature reasons. Well, what you're planning to do with a page like this is get somebody's address, name, and email, their contact information, when they don't even know who you are. So would you do that? Would you give somebody your address and name and contact info if you don't even know them, just on a random page on the internet? I'm going to guess that the answer is no. But what a photo does is it instills some trust that you actually know their neighborhood. This actually works really well, okay? Because they know, like, oh, if you know this, you know Pleasant Hill, right? If you know this, Jack London Square, you know Oakland, right? Let me show you something that really kind of blew me away. I set up the offices around the country for Listing Salute, right? And I set up this Global Vinger office in Summit, New Jersey, and they call me and they're like, "Oh, Vince, you know, our agents are getting so many listings, and the #1 landing page for home values is the one with the Summit Diner in the background, right?" Now, why would that be? Well, let me just tell you about Summit, New Jersey. It's a town of like 24,000 people. This thing is a converted railroad car, right? If you know this place, and this is where you get your greasy eggs and bacon and potatoes on the weekend, and this is on Main Street there, if you know that place, you know Summit, New Jersey. And if you're going to ask me for my address and my, contact info, I feel a lot more comfortable if you know that place, right? So that's the point, the long story there. But let me explain to you how you use that page if you want good listing leads. You click on edit. After you click, so if you click on edit, this is where you put the photograph, right? Right over here on the left where it says upload image. But now that you got your image there, you want to click on advanced options and go to print marketing and download this letter. And you might recognize this letter because it looks a lot like that #1 tool I was telling you about, which is the nearby homeowner letter. But this is, we call it a home sold report. And it's got a picture of that background area. And it says, hey, this is what sold last month. Now, we don't have the data of what sold in that town last month. So before you download it, click this edit pencil, right? And say, hey, this is what changed, right? 50 homes sold, right? The high is here, the average is here. Just You don't need to write a novel. People don't really like to read much anymore. Just a couple data points. And then when you download it, that will be written, right? And sorry, I hit the wrong button. And then you can take that and you could put it wherever you want. You can mail it, you can drop it off in a box. However you want to get that out, it does the same thing as a nearby homeowner. It says, hey, this is what's going on in Pleasant Hill. That affected your home value. Go get your free home value right here. Okay, that's what that's all about. That's what that's so on the landing page section. You really want to create home value landing pages for all your areas that you want more listings. You want to put a background picture on the landing page, right? Here, I got one over here at Satellite Beach out in Florida, right? So you make it look like your area. And then you get that letter that's in the back in advanced options, and you get that in the market. That's how you use our landing page section, right? So does anybody have any questions? We talked about the 3 areas to help you get more listings. The tools on the listings page, the kinds of ads that you should run, namely sold ads and PDF report ads, and then the landing pages, right? And the sold reports, the print letter connected to landing pages. So are the QR codes effective? I don't know. I think we auto embed, Marie. I think we auto embed the QR codes. They do work. And I know that QR codes are more popular, but I don't hear a lot of people scanning them. I do hear people taking the piece of paper, going to their computer and looking there. You know, I think a lot of us are more comfortable getting QR codes and going getting a menu, right? But if I'm getting my home value, I might not even know what that's about. So I don't see any more questions. I'm going to show you one more thing, and this has to do with Facebook ads. And I mentioned it earlier, but I want to mention it again. So here we are. Let's go to create an ad for Curb Appeal 101. Okay. And as I mentioned, it's going to be sponsored by your page. It's going to look cool. They can see it, can download a report. All you got to do is type in the name of the town. I'm going to do Lafayette, right? And do it like that. Now, remember, I said if you're looking for listing leads, you got to do what? You got to click advanced options and click create new form. And you got to click form questions, and you got to ask, what is your time frame to sell? Okay, you remember that, right? You're going to click create form, so that's going to be a question, and you're going to respond when somebody says they're going to sell their home in less than 3 months. Okay, you remember all that. This right here, though, you may not know about. Let me ask this question, everybody. This is a long discussion, and this is going to get confusing. So I want to know, do you know what retargeting is on Facebook? If you would put the answer yes or no in the chat panel, I will know if I can blast by this or if we need to really focus on this. I'm going to click this box that says retarget current leads. Yeah, so Marie, you know what retargeting is, it sounds like, right? Does anybody else know what retargeting is? Because there's a lot of people on this call. If you don't know what retargeting is, it is a very powerful way to help you convert leads, right? I've been showing you ways on how to capture leads. But what good is a captured lead if it doesn't turn into business? And that gets us into, well, how do I convert a lead? And there are a lot of ways to convert leads. But I got to ask a question. There's a guy here named Chad Knight. Chad, can you hear me? And Chad, I got to ask you, you're not a 3D artist, graphical internet artist, are you? Because there's a guy I follow on Instagram that does these incredible stuff. If you were that dude, let me know. Anyway, I'm not sure how to retarget. I know what it means. I just not know how to do it. Okay. That's what Anna's saying. So I appreciate that, Ann. I'm going to go slow because I'm not hearing a lot of answers, and you need to all know what retargeting is. Retargeting, oh, okay, Chad. Okay, thanks. Because that dude is awesome. Go look on Instagram for Chad Knight. His stuff is ridiculous. Anyway, retargeting allows you to retarget your old leads with your new ad. Okay. So again, I mentioned earlier that a lot of realtors think, I got a lead today, I'm going to call them today or email them today, and if they don't respond, that was a worthless lead. And that is far from the truth, but that is unfortunately how a lot of realtors think. You bare minimum have to have a drip campaign, and that being said, most drip campaigns suck. They're just tired and lame as soon as you roll it out. But that's just drip campaigns, right? I mean, CRMs are super powerful. They do a lot of things, but just there are a few CRMs that are realizing what you have to do to convert a lead. Only 2 that I know of. And we're building a follow-up plan over here on the left that is going to kind of be reminiscent of those 2 companies. And until that's live, you got to think, how do I convert my leads? And so let me talk a little bit in depth. What this means is when you go to the ads page in our system, it says connect your Facebook account. And then after that, it says turn on custom audiences. Like right on the page, it gets this weird thing. You don't know what that is. And then it says turn on retargeting. You need to turn all those things on, okay? Because what that tells listings to leads, what that tells us is to create a file in your personal Facebook ad account that says L to L leads. And what we do with that is any lead that you capture from listings to leads, we drop it in that file. And then when you click retarget current lead like I have here, that file will be an option here. And you can go L to L leads, right? So that when I run this ad today, and I say I want everybody within 15 miles of Lafayette to see this ad, well, that's a 15-mile radius of Lafayette, right? But it will also target my other listings to leads, my L to L leads. We have clients who have been clients for years, and those clients have thousands of leads sitting in their leads tab over here. You might be a new client, and you might have 5 leads, but if you keep using our tools, you're going to keep getting leads, and every time that you get a lead, we're going to drop it in that custom audience on Facebook for you. So if you got 1,000 leads, we're going to grab all those leads and drop them in that file too. And then as you go forward, every time you run an ad, you want to retarget your old leads, showing them that you're selling homes, that you got an open house, that you sold a home, that you have something just listed, or that you have PDF reports available to help them learn more about real estate. That's how you convert leads, people. You stay in front of them with valuable information, and retargeting is super helpful. Now, if you don't know what this is, and I know, Ann, you said you don't quite know what it is, I'm going to give you a tip, and I mean it on this tip. Write these 2 words down: custom audiences and lookalike audiences, and go put them on YouTube and learn how to create those 2 things. Because a lot of you have been in the business for a long time. And some of you, yeah, exactly, Marie, that's exactly what I'm talking about. How do I get my existing leads to be part of the custom leads? If your existing leads are inside listings to leads, you go to our ads page, and where it says custom audience, you turn it on, and you turn on retargeting, and we are going to make that file, and we'll do it automatically. But Marie, let me ask you this question. Do you have leads sitting in your CRM somewhere, or do you have an Excel file of leads on your computer that just sit there and you don't do anything with? Yeah. If any of you have that kind of deal, you got a CRM with hundreds or thousands of leads, or you have an Excel file with leads, you need to go directly to your Facebook ad manager. Let me do this while we're talking. You got to click home. It's a little bit different for everybody. When I click the home button, this blue button, my ad manager is over here. And when I click on ad manager, let's give it a second. There is this big mess, right? And Facebook Ad Manager is a nightmare. And fortunately for you, we have their software and we've updated it. And over here on the left is a button. It's called a hamburger button. It's got 3 lines, horizontal lines. Click on audiences, and then click on, there should be a button here that says create audience. And then once we do that, yeah, look, notice here, it says create audience. It says create lookalike audience and create special ad audience. You need to learn, you need to go to YouTube and learn how to do this correctly. Because I can tell you this, guys, we've been doing this for over 11 years now. And the reason we have grown and succeeded is because we know how to get leads for our clients. You're here learning how to get seller leads today. And what we're getting into next level here is helping you convert leads. We are awesome at capturing leads, but you get paid when you convert leads. And you need to go find out about how to create a custom audience, how to create a lookalike audience, which is incredibly, insanely powerful, and a special ad audience. You know what a special ad is? It's a housing ad. All the ads that you run as realtors are special ads. So how do you create an audience, it's especially for those people? Go to YouTube, spend a few minutes looking at videos on how to do that. You will then, and let me just tell you about lookalike audience. Let's just say Marie was buying Zillow leads for like a year, right? And you spent thousands of dollars in 1 year on Zillow leads, and you quit because you just couldn't convert them. They were like a random internet lead, and it just wasn't working out for you. Have any of you done that? You bought leads and they're sitting somewhere and you pay for them and they're just like not helping you out. Well, you can go watch YouTube and watch how to create a custom audience. And once you've done that, you can then say, hey, Facebook, create a lookalike audience. And it's going to say, well, what's your source? And you're going to say, I want to use my old Zillow leads, that custom audience called Zillow leads. And here's what's crazy. Here's what's crazy. You guys ever read the paper or listen to the news and they talk about Facebook has way too much information on you, right? Like they have all these apps and they're following you around and it's horrible, right? And yeah, that's a great topic for discussion, but that is not what I want to focus on. What I want to focus on is they do know a ton of stuff about the behavior of a list. And if you load up a list on Zillow of Zillow leads, they're going to go, oh, cool. Okay, well, they're going to go look at all the stuff that those people do. And when you say, hey, I want a lookalike audience of people like my Zillow leads, that's what they're going to create right there when you click create an audience. And they're going to go, oh, well, you know, all the Zillow leads of yours, they do all these things. And we can see because we know too much information about all of you, right? And now that you want a custom audience, we're going to get another list of people, like 1,000 people deep. And that's going to be available for you to target so that your ads will go in front of those people that you don't actually know, but they are a lot like your old Zillow leads. All right. Now, all of you, or not all of you, but many of you have CRMs with leads that you got somewhere. You could create a custom audience with my old tired leads. and you can create a custom audience. And now you'll be able to target those people with your ads right here. Those boxes will be available in this gray box. So that's about lead conversion. We want you to capture leads. I have talked today about the 3 areas to capture seller leads. You don't get paid until you got a contract and you sell those homes. What we just talked about for the last few minutes was how to convert leads. Okay? Are there any questions, guys, about what I've talked about today? This call is being recorded. It will be in the Mastermind Group. I recommend that if you definitely want to learn what's going on, get in our Mastermind Group and always look up the term. Thank you, Marie. I'm glad this is helping you. Go to the Mastermind Group. If you're not in the Mastermind Group, get in our support group. The Mastermind Group is a private group, which means if you're not in it, you can't find it on Facebook. All right? But once you're in it, you'll notice that there's a magnifying glass. And that's how you search this group. And the magic words that I recommend all of you search on is recorded webinar. You're going to see all the recorded webinars that we record, right? Get started, how to get more listings, all kinds of stuff. Look at our recent webinars. We're adding new tools all the time. So you need to see our most recent calls. Okay, the dates are right here. That's my story for today, guys. Scott and I are going to be in San Antonio, Texas this week for a Club Wealth conference. So we're not going to be that accessible. Keep safe. Ask the support team to get in the Mastermind Group and apply what I have shown you today, and you will get more listings. Thanks, everybody. Take it easy. See you later.